Today is a 2-for-1 DIY. Not only am I showing you how to create a very cool embellished collared button down, but I'm also showing you how to create a detachable embellished collar that could be added to anything, transforming all of the things in your closet. It's gonna be fabulous. Welcome back to my channel. If this is your first video, my name is Orly. This is the DIY Designer. I do a brand new DIY or styling hacks or outfit ideas or personal style type of video every single Sunday. So if you like what you see today, I hope that you'll subscribe. Today's video was actually inspired by my girlfriend Aleks, who sent me photos of all of these detachable collars. She's like, how cute would this be to have it almost like a necklace that you could wear with anything. You could wear it with like a comfy, cozy sweatshirt, or you could wear it with like a really tight fitted long sleeve shirt that you could never put a button down underneath. And I thought that is actually super cute. So that was my plan. And I went to the thrift store and I looked for shirts. Just try on the shirts just for the sake of the collar. You wanna make sure that it's a shirt that fits your neck pretty tight. If it's too loose, it's not gonna really be the right effect. I ended up buying a couple of shirts. I got a denim one, I got a light blue one. And then when I started making them, I actually really liked the denim shirt and I couldn't bring myself to cut it. So I am gonna give you guys 2 DIYs in one. And then at the end of the video, I'll give you a couple of fun outfit ideas. All that you need for this DIY are your embellishments. That's entirely up to you. I used leftover like crystal bits that I've had from old DIYs. You could do pearls, you could do buttons, you could do anything that you want. So that's up to you. E6000 Glue is gonna be the main way that we hold it down. And then if it's a piece that you really love and you think you're gonna wear a lot, I would recommend reinforcing it with a needle and thread. Clear thread's always a great option. If not, just stick with whatever the color is of your shirt. Okay, that's it. Let's do it. All right, first thing you want to do is grab your shirt and all of your embellishments. You can start to sort of figure out your design. This is the fun part because there's no commitment. Lay your shirt flat so that you're able to kind of just lay things down, take a look, see what you like, see what you don't. Once the design is finalized, that's when you're actually going to glue them on. So this is the part when you want to be really free with it. Once you do one side, you want to make sure that you have enough of the same pieces in order to do the same thing on the other side, assuming you want it to be symmetrical. Of course, there's no rules. You can have it be asymmetric if you want, but if you do want it to match, you just want to double check that you always have enough to do both sides. At first, I thought maybe I was gonna go through the entire collar, but after playing around with it and looking at it, this was the ultimate design that I liked. I sort of liked how it was almost like a curved, like an upside down U shape that focused on the point of the collar, which I just thought was super pretty. Now it's time to glue them on. You're gonna use E6000 and use a decent amount right on the back of your rhinestone, wherever it's flat. One of the things that I always recommend is leaving one side still laid out. So the left side is not glued, but I'm using it as a guide so that I know exactly where I'm putting things on the right-hand side. That way I can take everything off the collar, put each one back one at a time. But again, I've got the left-hand side to use as a guide. And once it's time to move to the left, I've got the right side to use as a guide. Now, I had a bunch of extra embellishments, and this is when I decided I wasn't gonna cut it as a collar. And so I thought, well, let's make it into a shirt, like an intentional design. Part of me thought I would do it around the cuff. Then I really liked the way this looked, but I worried it was like a little rhinestone cowgirl. Then I thought, ooh, I could actually do this as buttons because you see how the button placket is hidden? You're never gonna see the actual button. So I thought I could almost fake it by putting rhinestones on the outside and it would look like they were rhinestone buttons. Once all was said and done and I sort of played around with it, I decided to go simple and just do it a little bit on the collar and a little bit on the cuff. So I have these pieces. They were part of a much longer trim that at some point I had cut into smaller pieces. So I'm adding the glue onto the mesh backing and I'm just applying it to one side of the cuff first. You want to let this one side like sort of set up and dry for at least an hour before you flip it over. So in the meantime, I'm going to work on this guy. You see how this trim sort of collapses almost like an accordion? Every trim is going to be different and you're going to have to make decisions based on how you want to do it. For me, I wanted this to look like solid rhinestone. I didn't want to see the little metal line in between. So I'm going to slide it together, kind of closing the accordion as I do it. You're just going to put glue directly on your shirt and make sure that right around now is where you take your time to line it all up. This is the time when it's fully wet and you can be very intentional about making sure that everything is balanced, all of the rhinestones are straight, the edge of the shirt, if you are trying to intentionally see it, is even throughout. This is really the most important part because then you're just gonna move it off to the side for it to dry. Once it dries, there's no moving it. Now, same thing on the other side. I'm gonna be lining and sort of outlining this entire collar
And I was gonna let this dry because, again, you can't do the back until the front is a little dry. And in the meantime, I thought all of these little extra pieces that I did not use on my denim shirt, maybe I could make solid, kind of like a fully encrusted collar. And that's what I decided to do. So I gave it time to dry. I opened up the collar so that I could get access to the back and let it lay flat. I'm gonna do the same thing, kind of accordion it so that everything is super tight, matching everything else I've done. And you can see I'm like 2 rhinestones shy. So all I did is I took the extra pieces, I cut them off, and I patched it in. No problem. Again, you always want to try to make sure you have enough materials. And if for any reason you didn't, just use something that looks intentional right in the center. The cuff was dry, so it was time to flip over the other cuff, add it to the other side so that I've got a fully circular cuff, and that denim shirt was done. Now I went back while that was drying. You kind of ping pong back and forth, giving things time to dry and working on the next phase when you have time. So basically this is a puzzle. This is entirely dependent on the size of your collar, on the size of your embellishments, on the quantity of your embellishments, how tight you want them. Really, you just want to look at your piece that you're designing and just try to make sure that it feels balanced, that it's fitting your style, that it's something that you're going to want to wear. So I literally just picked up a piece, added glue. Then I would find what the next fit was, add glue. Once the entire thing was fully encrusted, this is when I decided to cut it off. So you're gonna cut it off as close to the edge of the seam as possible, but make sure that you are including the part of the collar that has that top button. It's gonna fold. You see how it folds back like that? You wanna fold back so you can actually close it and it can function as its own separate piece.
Alrighty, super simple, super easy. I'm gonna give you guys just a couple of simple outfit ideas so you can see the wearability of these pieces. And I think you're gonna find that it's a pretty fun one, not only for the holidays, but throughout the rest of the season. So this is probably one of the most useful ways that you could do the collar because this is really tight and thin and wearing a button down underneath it would be weird. So here is our little collar. You're just going to button it so that you actually close it. It's super cute. In here, since I've got flat lighting, you're not gonna get the sparkle. Maybe I should go outside. Totally different aesthetic. So it's kind of like a slouchy, funkier vibe, which I think is really cool because this collar sort of inherently is like preppy feminine. So I feel like by doing like a cropped oversized white tee and big baggy jeans, it kind of adds like an interesting vibe. Like a little beanie would be so cute. A little sweatshirt. I mean, you could just pop this sucker on anything. Ooh, you know what would be fun? Little leather skirt, combat boots. Super cute. Look at this one. I loved the boots and skirt so much I kept this on. So fun. Now, what's cool about the cuffs is they have such a good weight, so it feels really good, but you can also pull them up still. So like if you want to have that be a little higher. This is the shirt that I just like, I loved the fit of it and I was like, man, I don't think I can cut the collar off, and I'm really glad I didn't. I think the shirt is super cute. So you guys can do it to a collar or to the full shirt, whatever you want. It's really cute with these jeans too. Fresh and cool and feels very on trend for like what's in right now. It's like a little jacket. Twist, twist, tuck. So fun. I think I'm gonna wear this to Hanukkah tonight. I'm all blue. It's like perfectly Hanukkah. Guys, I hope that you enjoyed this one. I needed something simple and easy that was gonna give me a little joy this week, and this really fit the bill. So hopefully it'll do the same for you. Have some fun with it. Pull shirts that maybe you haven't worn in a while that could use a little refresher, a little bit of a new life to them, or hit up your local thrift store. There's no need to spend a lot of money to make pieces that make you feel really good and feel really special. So I hope that you guys will give this one a shot. Thank you so much for being here. I love you. I will see you next time.